Morning. I'm here this morning with Bob Charney. Bob is a longtime holder of a long-term care insurance policy, and he's here this morning to tell us about his experience and his value that he places on the long-term care insurance. Bob?
Well, thanks, Jim. We've had a long-term care policy for both myself and my wife for many years, and we did that for several reasons. Number one, we recognized early on that we didn't ever want to become a financial burden to our children and or a caregiving burden to our children. And so we invested in a long-term care policy. And we view it that way, by the way, as an investment, not so much as an expense. And then on top of that, the need and the reasons for doing that became acutely more critical for us when our youngest son was diagnosed with autism. He's very low functioning. And so again, the idea of potentially as we get older, we're certainly not going to outlive him. If we didn't have this kind of protection, there was a greater risk than most families, I suspect, of running out of cash. I mean, if we had to dip into our savings to pay for either my wife's or myself's long-term care, does that leave enough assets for the family to take care of my son who has autism? And we have other protections in place for him, but you never know if it's going to be enough. And so for all those reasons, we wanted to be sure to protect our assets and not burden our other kids with the responsibility of becoming caregivers. The other issue that for us is very important too is that I have a marketing business. I own my own advertising agency and have for a lot of years. And frankly, I still love it. I have no intention of retiring. We do marketing for professional service companies and retail companies alike. And we do that for all the digital media and social media, and we do websites that are ADA compliant and so on. And I don't intend to retire, but what if my wife were to have some issue come up requiring me to be a caregiver for her? My life would be unequivocally altered. And so we've agreed that we don't want, we need long-term care insurance for that reason as well. So that's that. And then the other part that Jim is probably a little too modest sometimes, but I turn to him because lately the cost of long-term care insurance is impacting the insurance companies significantly. And we have received letters asking us to modify our policy, and they're trying to mitigate their risks, and they're offering incentives to do that. And they're offering different strategies that frankly are going to be different strategies that they're offering and different plans they're offering. The efficacy of those are going to be different for each family. But I turned to Jim because of his expertise in this area to help answer some of the questions about what the pros and cons of each of those plans were. And he was really quick to respond and very knowledgeable in his advice. So we appreciate that.